Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. I'm Mabel and I have loads of content about Dubai, life in Dubai, vlogs in Dubai, helping you to plan your next Dubai trip or live your best life here in Dubai. So we're kind of going back to basics today. Let's get straight into the video. As you can see from the title, I want to answer the question, what is the best time to visit Dubai and the UAE in general, let's say? And why am I qualified to give you this advice? Well, I've lived here for 6 years and I've also had my family come to visit me multiple times, had friends come to visit me, and I feel like I've just got a good understanding of what you want when you're visiting Dubai. So what I've done is I've given each month of the year a score out of 10, and we're going to go through the months of the year, and I'm going to tell you my rating for each one. Let's start with the first month, which is January. I've given January, if you're visiting in January, then I've given this an 8 out of 10. It's not bad at all. January is a great month to visit Dubai. As you'll know, the weather is actually, no, you probably don't know. That's why you're watching this video. The weather is very cool in Dubai for the UAE and for this region. The winter months are kind of December, January, February. And why have I given it an 8 then? Why not a 10 out of 10? Well, in my opinion, January is actually too cold. Not that it's cold compared to, let's say, the UK. I'm from the UK, so that's kind of my point of reference. But I think a lot of people come to visit Dubai for the beaches, for the weather, for water sports, that kind of thing. But in January, you will have quite a few cloudy days. You will have bit of rain here and there, but I still think an 8 out of 10 is a great score compared to other countries around the world. I think January can feel a little bit miserable, a little bit slow. There is plenty going on in Dubai in January. You will have loads of things to do. You won't be put off if you booked your trip already for January. It's still an amazing time to come, but it's not my favorite. Let's move on to February. February, I've given a 9. February is a little bit better than January because there is a little bit more heat. It is currently February at the time of filming this video, and I think it is a really great time to visit Dubai. You will mostly have sunny days. There are going to be a few cloudy days, maybe windy days here and there. I'm looking out my window right now and it's 3rd of February. And it's a little bit overcast and a little bit windy. So we've actually had to rearrange our plans. We were going to go for lunch on the beach, but we've moved it to a venue indoors. So you might be doing a little bit of that if you're visiting in February. There is also plenty going on in February. For example, recently there was the Al Takal Avenue Arts Festival. There's always things happening in all of the months. But I know that a lot of people that are visiting Dubai really want to kind of make the most of the weather and the hotels and all that kind of thing. So that's why February only gets a 9, because you just have a handful of days that are not perfect. Okay, let's move on to March. March, I've given a 10 out of 10. For me, I think March is a great time to visit Dubai because you basically are starting to warm up for summer. And I just find that it's the perfect time to visit. You'll kind of have days where it's around 30 degrees Celsius, which I think is lovely. I know that's a bit too hot for some people and you might prefer to visit in January or February. But for me, March is great because you've got, the sunshine, you've got great weather for lying on the beach, pool parties, all that kind of thing. And one thing to note this year, though, is that Ramadan does fall in March. It gets earlier kind of every year, and it's based on the cycles of the moon. So Ramadan this year is starting in March. Do bear this in mind. If your plan is to go to some venues, they may be rescheduled, this kind of thing. Events with live music will be going ahead in Ramadan. So that's one thing to bear in mind. But I think I will do a video about this separately because I also get this question a lot, like what is Ramadan like here in the UAE for an expat or for a foreigner visiting as tourists? So I'll save that for a separate video, but let's focus on the weather. I would say March is an amazing time to visit. If you're like me and you're from the UK or from Europe, or especially from a country that gets really cold in the winter, and you're looking for some sun and some sunshine, I think March is an amazing time to visit. Okay, let's move on to April. I've given April a 7. The reason being it really does start to get humid in April. So, you might find that quite uncomfortable if you are someone that is very sensitive to heat. I have given April a 7. You'll still have a lot of, nice times in the sun, maybe in the mornings and in the evenings, but in the midday heat, you might struggle a little bit. For May, I have given this a 5. That seems quite low. Actually, no, it doesn't. That's kind of in the middle. I'd say if you have booked your holiday to Dubai and it's in May, don't panic. You can still make the best of it, but I think you are going to struggle to do outdoor things because it is just going to get too hot in the daytimes. I think if you're somebody that likes to walk around and kind of get a feel for the city and you want to be walking around and outdoors, I think you are going to struggle a little bit. So you'll maybe want to plan that in the mornings or in the evenings when it's not too hot. But don't worry, I wanted to mention that when we start to get to May time in the year, people always panic and kind of get put off Dubai, but there is still plenty to do indoors, and Dubai does have amazing. I say amazing because we don't have it in the UK. Everywhere in Dubai has air conditioning, literally everywhere. So you don't need to worry about being, overheating. You don't need to worry if you're literally getting into a taxi and then going to Dubai Mall or going to Burj Khalifa or whatever it is. You're probably just going to not notice how hot and humid it is outside anyway. And I feel like I would say that for June as well. For June, I have given it a 3 out of 10. The reason being is because it does get seriously humid in June and it starts to get very hot. I know that because my birthday is in June, I have been planning ways to celebrate my birthday over the past few years. And I will say that I have actually opted for beach days. I've opted for pool parties. But everyone does kind of struggle a little bit. If you're a girl, you'll find your makeup is literally running. It's probably going to be too hot to lay out in the sun. You'll probably want to be in the shade or indoors for that matter. So if you don't mind that, and if you're just visiting Dubai and you want to just kind of see the sights, you want to maybe go shopping, then maybe you won't mind. But I do think in June it's starting to get too hot, which is why for July, August and September, I've given them all. Well, I actually wrote this down before this video to plan what I was going to say. July, I've given a 1 out of 10. July, I think if you visit the start of July, you might be okay. But around mid-July, not only is it the school holidays, so flight prices increase, people leave Dubai, and that you might think that that's a good thing, but I actually think to really make the most of this amazing city, then you'll kind of want to visit at a time when people are here, whereas in the summer, July, August, and even September as well, a lot of the locals and kind of expats that live here will actually leave and go on holiday. They'll go to Europe or somewhere else where it's a little bit cooler. For me personally, like the past 3 years, I have just left Dubai for the summer because it is too hot and you can't really make the most of it. Obviously, I feel quite lucky that I get to do that because I can work remotely. But even so, if you're planning your holiday, I still think that July, August and September are a no-go. September is probably the most humid, horrible month. I don't know if it's just because by the time September rolls around, everyone's just oh my God, I cannot wait for winter in Dubai. But do note that when the temperature does start to drop, so does the humidity. And that's why for October, I've given it a 7, which is quite high. I think if you're someone that's like me, like I said, if you like kind of heat and you're okay with lying in the sun and really feeling the heat, then I think you'll like it in October as well. I think March and October are similar in a way. But yeah, I think October you'll be okay. I'm kind of remembering that in October is the time where we're trying to dress up for Halloween and want to brunches outside and things, and we've been okay. We've been beach partying, and 1 year me and Connor literally painted ourselves blue for a Halloween costume and we were partying on the beach and we didn't seem to mind. So I feel like you can make it work. But now we get on to November, which is actually my favorite time of year to visit Dubai. I think November is the best time of year to visit Dubai. I have given it a 10 out of 10 for the weather. I often find that there's barely any rain in November, which I think is perfect. It's still hot enough to want to lay out in the sun. It's got sunshine, barely any overcast days. In fact, usually none, but I won't say none just in case somebody books their trip for November and then comes back to tell me off. But I think November is an amazing time to visit Dubai. One of the reasons is because that we have a long weekend at the end of November and the start of December. So UAE National Day is the 2nd of December. There's always events going on. It's usually a long weekend for everyone that works here in Dubai. There's usually the Abu Dhabi F1 as well. There's so much going on at this time of year in the kind of run, the last few weeks of the year, the run up to Christmas. There's also the rugby sevens. There is just so much going on, and I feel like it's that time of year where there is something booked every weekend and you literally just want to make the most of it, and it's so much fun. So that's why I think November is the best time to visit. I have given December a 9 out of 10. I do think December is really fun, even though you will have a couple of maybe cloudy days here and there. You might even get a little bit of rain in December, but it makes up for it because it's Christmas. I love a Dubai Christmas. There is so many amazing ways to celebrate Christmas here in Dubai. And there is, of course, New Year's Eve, which is one of the biggest nights of the year here in Dubai. And you can expect to pay quite a lot to celebrate New Year's in Dubai. But if you don't mind that, then I think it'll be well worth it for you, because there is just so much going on and it's so much fun. So that's my kind of roundup of the year and what month I think you should visit in Dubai. I hope this kind of was helpful. You can leave me any comments if you have any more questions. But yeah, if whatever time of year you're visiting Dubai, I hope you have the best time, and you'll probably have a lot of videos helpful that are here on my channel. So be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.